City of the Living Dead is our Day 10 Occult Madness film for the Dark Knight's 31 Days of Halloween. This Italian horror film from 1980 was directed by Lucio Fulci and is the story of a reporter and a psychic who race against time to close the gates of hell. It was also titled The Gates of Hell in the US, and it plays with ideas of witchcraft, ancient texts, religion, the undead, and legends and curses. It also seems inspired by the works of H.P. Lovecraft, given the inclusion of the town of Dunwich, as well as many of the themes throughout it. It's also very interesting visually because it represents a mixture of 80s style and 70s aesthetic. Think about other films from 1980 like The Shining or The Fog or even Halloween from 1978. All of those have different aspects to them that represent both decades. And in many respects, it actually really reminds me of 1979's Salem's Lot adaptation, with things like its makeup effects and its use of fog. There's even one scene involving a kid and the undead outside his window that seems taken right out of Salem's Lot. Overall, the movie was quite good. I really enjoyed it. It's not overly gory. There are two scenes that kind of stand out that I'm like, okay, there it is. And there's one effect that's used a bunch of times that is really only shocking the first time it's done. There's also a bleeding eyes effect that is used in all the advertising, and it's used on the poster. I've seen it everywhere. That is used a couple times, and it's really cool. The music is done by Fabio Frizzi, a composer with a deep history in horror, having done the music for The Beyond, which is the sequel to this, Zombie, also directed by Fulci, and much more. The atmosphere that all the establishing shots and some of the panning shots that they use along with the music are extremely well done. They really help establish that Halloween, fall, horror, old school feel to this. And the way they use the music in the climax is actually very well done as well. Now, speaking of the climax, I'm not huge on it. There are some missteps here, some awkward moments, some WTF moments, and there are legends for the last 45 years of exactly what happened with this ending. Stories of last-minute script and story changes, stories of damaged footage, stories of the production running out of budget. Who knows at this point? But be prepared that it is not a bad ending, but it is a little bit of a confusing, not ideal ending. But overall, I was still satisfied with it, and it didn't impact my viewing of the entire movie as a whole. So otherwise, I would still recommend this movie. With all of the comparisons I've made, hopefully you know at this point whether this is something you would enjoy. It's got a pretty short run time at an hour and a half too, so not a heavy lift in that regard. I don't think it's too gruesome compared to many of the other Italian horrors that I've seen, and it keeps your attention well enough for an older film. I think this is a worthy addition to your 31 Days of Halloween, so check it out and let me know what you think. Enjoy me tomorrow for Michael Myers Day.